There we go. Good morning, everyone. As always, thank you so much for joining me. During the beginning part of class, you might hear a bell. That's just people coming in late. So if that happens, just stay in your flow. So as always, let's begin our class today by finding a comfortable seat on the mat. Remembering, as always, that you have lots of options for your seat. If sitting with your legs crossed like mine is comfortable, feel free to do so. However, you can also have one or both legs up. You can sit on a pillow or on a block to raise your tailbone, whatever's the most comfortable for you. And then once you've found that stillness, that comfortable seat, simply bring your hands to your heart and close your eyes. And just begin to cultivate some nice, deep, belly breaths. Now, as you breathe, begin to feel some movement going along with the breath. So on your inhale, roll your spine out nice and long, sit tall, and then exhale and soften, melt. Try to release your shoulders, your hips, just softening the body, and then inhaling, lifting and lengthening again. Exhaling to soften. So just feeling this natural rise and fall of breath along with the rise and fall of movement. On your next exhale, release your hands down by your sides, and on your inhale, sweep your right arm across in front of you and then up and over. Exhaling that right arm down. Inhale the left arm across, up and over, and exhale down. Inhaling right and left. And then continue to follow this pattern on your breath. Let it be slow and fluid, really passing through your full range of motion. Now, as you're breathing and moving, begin to notice if it would feel good to change this movement or to linger in any particular part of it. Basically, just let your intuition start to come in. Notice what would feel good in your body and find those movements, those little stretches that help you release tension. And then gently and gradually begin to find your way back to seated. Draw your hands to heart center. Take a moment to set your intention for your practice this morning. And once your intention is set, simply release your hands down. Sweep your feet around behind you. We're going to make our way to tabletop. And let's begin to move our spines. On your inhale, roll your heart forward and tip your tailbone to the sky. Then exhale, coil your belly in and drop the crown of your head. Inhaling, rolling open. And exhaling to coil. Now, as always, in our cat-cow space, you have some choices. So if this feels amazing, you stay right here in that cat-cow flow. If you'd like to, you're also welcome to experiment with some free-form movement here. Sometimes that's drawing circles with the rib cage or the hips. Sometimes it's stretching from one side to the other. Just experiment, see what feels good. And then gently make your way back to your tabletop, coming to stillness. Draw your knees a little closer together beneath your hips so that they're centered, so that you feel very stable. On your inhale, extend your right leg long behind you and lower your toe down to the mat. Once you've made contact, begin to press into that right heel, finding your calf stretch. Remembering, of course, to target this according to what you need today. So if this is too much, you can come out of that stretch a little bit. Remember, you can always slowly flow into and out of that stretch as well. So not a bounce, but like a slow wave pattern can happen here. And then let's switch it out. Lower your right knee down to meet your left. Inhale to extend your left leg long behind you and lower the toe. Begin to press into that left heel. Just getting that delicious stretch. Keeping your breath long and slow and smooth. And then from here, let's lower that left knee back down to the mat. We're going to meet in forward fold. You can get there a couple ways. You can walk your hands back to stand. You can also step your feet forward. Once you've found that forward fold, take a moment to simply surrender, to relax, right? So we let the head be heavy, the neck be long. If it would feel good to find movement, you can always rock a little bit from side to side here. You can wiggle your arms and fingers. This is a great space to release points of tension, to just notice any areas in your body where you're holding. And then if you are in motion, come to stillness, bend your knees, exhale, roll your way all the way up to standing. Inhale, rise and open, sweep your fingertips to the sky, and exhale, hands come to heart center. Release your hands down by your sides, and if you're not already there, make your way to the top of your mat to set up your first mountain pose of practice. Now, as always, we let this first one be very conscious, so we want to really place the feet firmly. Sometimes I like to spread my toes, like lift them and then spread them out and then set them back down again to really feel that rooting energy going down into the earth. Bring your hands to your belly and give your belly some love. And then find that space just beneath your navel where your core or lower abdominal muscles are, and then draw them in and up. Your tailbone will lengthen. Shoulders roll back and down, and palms face forward. On your inhale, sweep your fingertips to the sky. Exhale, pour forward over your legs. Bend your knees. Fingertips can come down to a set of blocks or onto the mat. On your inhale, step your right foot back to lunge and lower that right knee down. So we'll take a moment to set up a nice safe lunge with that left leg forward. We want to make sure the left knee is directly over the left ankle, so we're experiencing like almost a 90-degree angle here. And we want to keep our hands and arms comfortable. So if it feels like the mat is a little too far away today, you can add some blocks to make yourself a little bit longer through the arms. On your inhale, look forward. Exhale, shift back. Begin to stretch out that left leg. Your left toes might come off the mat. They might not. Inhale forward to lunge and melt your right hip toward the mat. Exhaling, shifting back. And inhaling forward. Now, of course, we all have different lung capacities, so we're all going to be moving at a slightly different pace. So just follow your breath right here, even if that means you're on a different part of this movement than I am. Let your next inhale bring you all the way forward to lunge. From here, find your tabletop. So knees are once more coming beneath the hips, wrists come beneath the shoulders. And let's keep moving our spines. So yogi's choice here, cat-cow or free form movement. Whatever helps your back muscles feel better, whatever releases tension more. And then from here, come to a neutral spine in tabletop. Walk your hands one handspan forward and shift your shoulders over your wrists. Find your half plank. So knees, hips, and shoulders should be in one long line. We want to draw the navel in so that that tailbone is still reaching downward. Press the earth away to create plenty of buoyancy between your shoulders. Bend your elbows and shave your sides, lowering that half plank down to the mat with control. Walk your toes back to create space. Bring your fingertips wide and begin to roll one shoulder and then the other through creative cobra. Return your hands to beneath your shoulders and press back. Find your way to tabletop, or if you have one in your practice, you're welcome to turn your toes under and visit downward facing dog here. Now, wherever you happen to have landed, find movement. So if you're in tabletop, that's cat-cow or free-form movement. If you're in downward dog with me, you can be walking out that dog, bending one knee and then the other. Maybe dropping one hip and then the other. Either way, we're just finding ease and movement. And then find your way into stillness. On your inhale, look forward. Exhale to step your right foot forward between your hands. Now, if that back knee is lifted, go ahead and lower it to the mat. We want to set up that same safe lunge with the right leg forward. So we want that right knee directly over the ankle. If it's further back, just grab that foot and bring it forward until we have that nice safe angle. That's a lot easier on the knees. Grab your blocks if you'd like to make your arms a little longer here. Inhale to look forward. Exhale, shift back. That right leg starts to stretch out. Again, your toes might rise, they might not. Inhale forward, melt the left hip. And exhaling back. Let your next inhale bring you all the way forward to lunge. Turn your left toes under to lift the back knee. Look forward and step together to fold. And once you arrive in that fold, just surrender. Again, relax. You can have the knees a little bent here. You can find movement if that would feel good. And then come to stillness. Bend your knees. Exhale, roll your way all the way up to standing. Inhale, rise and open. Exhale, hands to heart center. Check in with your mountain pose. If it needs to be reset, just reposition your feet. Feel that strong core and that long spine, that lifted heart. On your next inhale, sweep your fingertips to the sky. Exhale, fold forward. This time, inhale, halfway rise. Hands come to the shins or to the thighs. Roll your shoulders back and down and create a nice long, flat back. Exhale to soften. Inhale, halfway. Exhale. Inhale, halfway rise. And then on your exhale, bend your knees, plant your fingertips onto the mat or onto a set of blocks. Inhale to step your left foot back to lunge. Lower that left knee down. So we're going to take it a little bit deeper this time. Inhale to look forward. Exhale, shift back, right toes rise. Get that deeper stretch. Now remember, you can also walk your hands back here if that helps you stretch out the back of your right leg. Inhale forward. And exhaling back, right toes rise. And remember, when we shift forward, we still want to be melting that left hip toward the mat. That really helps open up that hip flexor. Inhale forward, plant your fingertips, tabletop. From your tabletop, walk your hands one handspan forward and shift your shoulders over your wrists. So we're going to set up that same safe, stable half plank, pressing the earth away, drawing the navel in, tailbone reaching long, keeping all of that. We bend the elbows, shaving the sides. And make our way all the way down to the mat. Walk your toes back, fingertips are wide. Roll it out. Creative cobra, big, beautiful shoulder circles. Return your fingertips to beneath your shoulders, press back, tabletop or downward facing dog. On your inhale, look forward. Exhale to step your left foot forward. If your back knee is lifted, go ahead and lower that right knee down to the mat. We're going to set up that nice safe lunge again, making sure the left knee is directly over the left ankle. Inhale to look forward. Exhale, shift back. This time, left toes rise. Get that deeper stretch. Inhale forward to lunge. Melt the right hip. And exhale back, remembering, of course, that you can also walk your hands here if that helps you get a better stretch. Let your next inhale bring you forward to lunge. Turn your right toes under to lift the back knee. Look forward and step together. And full, soften, relax. If you are in motion, come to stillness. Bend your knees. Exhale. Roll your way all the way up to standing. Inhale, rise and open. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Check in with your mountain pose. Reset as necessary. Strong core, open heart. Inhale to rise. Exhale to fold. Inhale, halfway rise. Hands come to the shins or the thighs. Roll your shoulders back and down, flat back. Exhale. Inhale, halfway rise. One more time. And exhale, plant your fingertips. Inhale, step your right foot back to lunge. Lower that right knee down. We're going to walk the hands up that left knee. Now, if you notice that this feels unstable, being lifted here, if this feels wobbly, grab a block and place it by your right hip so that there's somewhere for your hand to touch down in case you need it. So from here, we're going to do some nice openings across the chest. On your inhale, sweep your fingertips forward and up. Exhaling, opening out. Bend your elbows. Really feel that lovely stretch across the pectorals. Inhale. On this next exhale, both hands come down to the mat. Knees together. Walk your hands, one hand span forward, shoulders over the wrists. So yogi's choice here, half plank or turn your toes under for full. With control, bend your elbows and find your way down to the mat. Once you've touched down, walk your toes back, fingertips are wide. Creative cobra, roll it out. Return your hands to beneath your shoulders, press back, tabletop or downward facing dog. On your inhale, look forward. Exhale to step your right foot forward between your hands. If your back knee is lifted, lower it, and then walk your hands up that right knee. So same thing on this side. If this feels unstable, grab a block and place it by the left hip. Inhale, sweep your fingertips forward and up. Exhale, open out. And on this last exhale, both hands come down to the mat. Turn your left toes under to lift that back knee. Look forward and step together and fall. Bend your knees. Exhale, roll your way up. Inhale, rise and open. Exhale, hands come to heart center. One last time, we're going to go through a sun salutation. So reset your mountain pose. Strong core, long spine. Inhale, sweep your fingertips to the sky. Exhale, fold forward. Bend your knees, fingertips reaching down to the earth. On your inhale, step your left foot back to lunge. Lower that left knee down. Walk your hands up your right knee. So same thing here. If this feels unstable, just add a block. We're going to add a little movement in the lower body this time. On your inhale, sweep your fingertips forward and up. Exhale, shift back. Let those right toes rise. Fingertips sweep behind you or touch down. Inhale, forward and up. Exhaling, sweeping behind. Now on this next exhale, both hands come down to the mat. Find your tabletop. Walk your hands, one handspan forward. Shift your shoulders over your wrists. Yogi's choice here, half plank or toes turn under for full. Bend your elbows and float your way down. Once you've touched down, walk your toes back. Fingertips are wide. Creative cobra. Now, we've been warming up, so if you want to make those shoulder circles a little bigger and maybe even come off the mat a little bit, you can totally do that if you'd like to. And then return your body to the mat, fingertips to beneath the shoulders. Press it back, tabletop or downward facing dog. Inhale to look forward. Exhale to step your left foot forward between your hands. Lower that right knee down to the mat. So check in with your lunge. Make sure that left knee is directly over the ankle. Walk your hands up. Again, add a block if you're feeling unstable. And let's find that full body flow. Inhale, sweep your fingertips forward and up. Exhale, shift back, left toes rise. Fingertips can touch down or sweep behind. Inhale. And just follow your breath pattern right here. And on this next exhale, both hands come down to the mat. Turn your right toes under to lift your back knee. Look forward and step together and soften. Find a little ease right here. Rock from side to side. And then come back to center. Bend your knees. Exhale. Roll your way all the way up to standing. Inhale. Rise and open. And exhale. Hands to heart center. Release your hands down by your side. Make your way down to the mat and get comfortable. We're going to sit here for a little bit to do some fascia releases, to stretch out our wrists and hands and arms, because those all contribute to chest tension. So find your way to your comfortable seat. Once you're there, simply lift your right hand. We're going to turn that hand to face away and begin by pressing into the heel of your right hand. Now, you'll probably immediately feel a little bit of a weird sensation in that right arm. That's your fascia stretching. Now, if this is unpleasant or too intense, you can always bend that elbow a little bit to relieve the tension. You're also welcome to begin tracking that right hand behind you a little bit, because that'll change where you're feeling the stretch of your fascia. And as with all things, it's going to feel better or different in different areas for each of us. And we'll lower that right arm down and maybe wiggle it out a little bit, because that definitely feels weird. And let's feel that on the left-hand side. So lift your left hand, turn your palm to face away, press into the heel of that left hand. And again, notice what would be the best fit here, right? So maybe we stay right here, maybe we bend the elbow a little, maybe we begin to track that left hand behind us. All right, and then we'll bring that left hand down, wiggle it out. Again, maybe letting it go a little bit. All right, so from here, let's interlace our fingers together. Turn your palms to face away, press the palms, drop your head between your upper arms, feeling that nice rounding of the upper back. And then straightening up, we sweep the hands to the sky, still pressing into the palms. Maybe stretching from side to side a little bit. Coming back to center, let's relax the arms down. Now, starting on the right side, we're going to just press that right palm away from us. Using our left hand, begin to draw back on each finger one at a time. This helps stretch out tension in the wrist and in the forearm. And you're going to notice that this feels different, right? Finger to finger. So you'll find some that usually have a little more tension than others. You can also do all 4 fingers at the same time. So just experiment a little bit, see what feels good here. And then we'll relax that right arm down. Let's feel that on the left side. So pressing the palm away and beginning to draw back on the fingers. And again, you can do these individually, sets of 2. You can do all 4 at the same time. And just finding good ways to release tension in the wrists. Especially for those of us who type a lot, this can be very useful. All right, and relax that left arm down. Let's shake it out. Find your way into tabletop from here. And then what we'll do is just shift back into a low kneeling. Now we're going to turn our hands to face out. So the fingertips are reaching toward the sides of the mat. Now what you can do here is shift forward, so we're more finding our tabletop again, and just begin to rock slowly back and forth. Again, getting a nice stretch into the fascia. Depending on how flexible you are, you may need to either sort of broaden the base where your hands are, or to bring them closer into center. Just depends on your body, on what feels good today. All right, and then we're going to come to stillness. And again, we'll shift our weight back. So there's not a lot of weight in the hands right now. And we're going to do the opposite. We're going to turn the palms under to face us. Now shifting forward, so there's a little more weight in the backs of the hands. Little massage right here, just rocking from side to side. This is actually one of my favorite releases in yoga right here. I love this one. For me, the sort of the backs of the wrists tend to get really tense. So for my body, this feels very good. All right, and then simply shift back, shake it out a little bit, and we're going to find our way up to standing. As you make your way up to standing, I'm going to move my camera a little bit. All right, so let's keep working on chest stretches. So what I'd like you to do is find a comfortable mountain pose. So feet are firmly rooted, nice and stable. Draw your navel in, tailbone feels long, shoulders roll back and down. On your inhale, sweep your fingertips to the sky. This time on your exhale, we're going to sweep the fingertips behind us. Interlace your hands at the small of your back. Now, before we stretch into standing heart pose, draw your navel in once more, so we're staying protected through the core, and then lengthen your arms and lift your heart. Feel that beautiful stretch across the chest. Exhale to soften a little bit. Inhaling, opening, stretching, lifting. And on this exhale, let's release. Now, we've been working on building leg and lower body strength over the last couple of weeks. So I'd like to invite you to add on here. We're going to do that chest stretch, but we're going to do it in fierce pose. So I'd like you to bring your toes a little closer together. In my body, the right fit for fierce pose is to have my toes touching, but the heels slightly separate. So my feet are in a slightly a V shape. For some people, having their sort of the back of the foot also touching and the ankles touching works. In my body, that is less comfortable. So find the right position for you. Bring your hands to your hips. Let's find fierce pose first. So we're going to exhale and sink our hips toward the heels. The weight moves back, right? You should be able to lift your toes off the mat. Now, once you're down in your fierce pose, let's check in with that tailbone. So go ahead and tip it all the way out, and then curl it all the way under, and then find about halfway where your core is engaged, tailbone's nice and long. This is all beautiful and protected. On your inhale, sweep your fingertips to the sky. Exhale, sweep your fingertips behind you. Now, staying strong through the core, so that navel is still engaged. Inhale, lengthen, stretching across the chest. We're going to find a little pulse right here. So exhale, soften your knees, sink down another inch. Inhaling to lift. Exhaling. And release. Come to standing, roll your shoulders out, let it go. Nicely done. If you are not already there, turn to face the broad side of the mat. We're going to turn our toes out as we take a nice broad stance, a wide stance. Bring your hands to your hips on your exhale, high yoga squat, high malasana. We're going to be turning out, so those knees are tracking out over the toes. Inhale to lift and exhale to lower. All right, let's add a little bit of chest stretching and heart opening in here. On your next inhale, sweep your fingertips to the sky. Exhale through heart center. Inhale. And let this next inhale bring you back up to standing. So from here, we're going to turn that right foot to face the short side of the mat. The left foot will shift so that it's perpendicular. From here, Orient your heart and your hips toward the broad side of the mat. Bend your right knee, sink down for your warrior two pose. Now notice if you need to wiggle your feet, I tried to say feet and heels at the same time. Try to wiggle your feet out a little bit longer if you need to, or make them a little more narrow. Radiate your arms out in each direction. Flip your right hand to face the sky. Inhale, up and back. And then exhale, right hand or right elbow to right knee, left arm reaches long. Inhaling up and back. Now, this flow, this dancing warrior flow, is also really good for releasing chest tension. What we want to be aware of is the stretching through the side waist here and staying broad across the chest as we flow. Find your way back to your warrior two. Relax your arms down and straighten that right knee. Now from here, we'll begin moving toward triangle. So bring your right hand to your right hip, press that hip back. We're creating lots of space along that right side. Sweep your right hand to the sky and exhale to fold forward. Your right hand is going to land somewhere to stabilize. So that might be your shin, your thigh, it could be the mat or maybe a block. Lower your left arm down and peel your body open. So we turn our hearts toward the sky here. Exhaling, lowering down. Inhale to peel, wrist, elbow, shoulder, shoulder, sky. Exhaling down. Now, if this is already challenging, you can stay right here. If you would like to add a fairly deep chest stretch in this place, once we reach the top of that movement, we're just going to tuck that left arm behind us and keep rolling that left shoulder back and down. Turn our gaze to the sky. Exhaling, turning our gaze to the earth. Inhaling to turn. And this movement of the neck, this turning from side to side, can really help tension keep from building up in the shoulders, which is otherwise possible here. And then wherever you happen to be, we're going to release. So we're going to lower that right hand down. And we're just going to roll our way back up to standing. Right knee's going to bend. And our toes are going to turn to be perpendicular, parallel, so that they're facing the same direction. Inhale, sweep your fingertips to the sky. Exhale, wide-legged, forward fold, surrender. Take a moment to pause here. Relax your head and your neck. Just breathe. And then from here, we're going to walk our hands to the left side of the mat. The left toes will turn to face the short side of the mat. Right toes are going to stay dialed out to the side. Exhale, roll your body up, blossoming out, warrior two. Check in with your Vira two. Make sure this is comfortable, right? We want the heart and the hips open to the broad side of the mat. We want to feel stable. Flip your left hand to face the sky. Inhale up and back. Exhale, left hand or left elbow to the left knee, right arm reaches long. And just like the other side, pay attention to staying open across the chest. We want to stay nice and broad here and really enjoy that stretch in the intercostals, the muscles between the ribs. Find your way back to your warrior two. Relax your arms down. We're going to straighten that left knee. Bring your hand to your left hip. Begin to press that hip back. So again, lots of space. Sweep your left arm to the sky and exhale, fold over. Root your left hand where it's comfortable to touch down. So again, shin, thigh, foot, mat, block, whatever you've got. Lower your right arm down. And then peel your body open, turning your heart toward the sky. Exhaling, lowering down. Inhaling, opening. And exhale. So same choice here. You can stay in this flow, which is a wonderful chest stretch. You can also deepen that aspect of this movement. At the top of the inhale, we sustain, bend your right elbow, tuck that hand behind you, roll the right shoulder back and down. Now, we want to stretch, but we don't want to build up too much tension. So if you're here with me, we're going to gently turn our face toward the earth in the exhale. Inhaling, turning to gaze at the sky. Incidentally, this also challenges your balance a little bit more because you're changing where your gazing point is. One of the things I love about yoga is that most positions and poses and movements do more than one thing. It's just a very effective way to strengthen multiple systems at the same time. And release wherever you happen to be. We're going to lower that right arm down. We're going to bend that left knee and roll our way up. Perfect. Let's turn those left toes to be parallel to the right. Inhale, sweep your fingertips to the sky, and exhale, wide-legged forward fold. Breathe it out right here. Let it go. Now from here, walk your fingertips a little further forward. And we're going to tip our tailbones toward the sky. Exhale to soften your chest toward the mat. Get a nice deep stretch. If you noticed you've got a little more space, you can always wiggle your fingers further forward. And for those of you in the tight hamstrings club with me, it can feel really nice to shift your weight into your heels here and really get a deep stretch in those hamstrings and your calves. And from here, we're going to walk the hands back and roll our way all the way back up to standing. Beautiful. Make your way down to seated on the mat. Once you have found your way to a comfortable seat, draw your left heel in and extend your right leg long. Turn your heart toward that right foot. On your inhale, create plenty of space, get tall. Exhale, fold forward. Now, wherever your hands land is fine. So that might be the thigh, the shin, maybe the foot. But remember that the point of this place is not to grab the foot. The point is to lengthen your spine. So on your inhale, roll your spine out. Feel as though your heart and your toes are reaching for each other. And then exhale, bow into that space you've created. Again, inhaling. Your back is going to feel like it wants to be flat here, right? We really feel a lot of expansion in this space. Walk your hands back, rolling up to seated. Let's switch it out. So right heel in, left leg long. Turn your heart toward that left foot. Same thing, lengthening. And then exhale, fold forward. Hands land wherever is comfortable. Inhaling, lengthening. Feel your heart and your toes reaching toward each other. And exhale to soften. Gently roll your way up to seated. Now from here, let's measure our legs out against the mat so that there's plenty of space to roll back for Shavasana. We're not quite going there yet, but we're setting up for it. So once you've found a good alignment so that you know there's plenty of space, draw your knees in, roll all the way down onto your back. Start, of course, by giving your lower back a little love. You can rock from side to side. You can draw big circles with your knees. Both of those things tend to feel just awesome. And then come to stillness at the center. Lower the soles of your feet down just beneath your glutes. Relax your arms down. So we're going to go through a little back bend sequence here because, of course, all back bends stretch the chest. And I'm going to give you several options. The first one is a dynamic pelvic tilt. So I'd like you to draw your navel in as sharply as you can. Feel your lower back pressing against the earth and curl your tailbone toward you. So there's almost a scooping feeling in the belly here. And then inhale, relax, tip the tailbone away. Exhaling, navel to spine, back to the mat, curling the tailbone under. Inhaling, release, tipping the pelvis away. So this is that dynamic pelvic tilt. And if this feels awesome, you just stay right here and you love this space. Option 2, of course, is bridge pose. So if you'd like to take that journey with me, come to a neutral spine. Now engage your core, but not quite so much that we're fiercely pressing against the mat, the lower back. Relax your arms down to the mat, palms facing down. On your inhale, press into your heels to lift your hips up off the earth. Now you can stay right here. There's a little flow you can do if you'd like on your exhaling, softening, releasing the hips a little bit. Inhaling, lifting, and exhaling to soften. So one more option for maybe just a few people that gets a very deep stretch across the chest. From low bridge pose, we can walk the shoulders underneath and interlace our fingers. If you found that, press your hands away, and you're going to notice that this stretch really shifts to behind the heart. Exhale to soften. Inhale to lift. Good. So wherever you are is correct. Wherever you are, we have a flow that goes along with the breath. We want to keep that breath and body connection. And then everyone, roll your way down. Vertebra by vertebra, touching the earth. Draw your knees into your chest and rock from side to side. Let it go. Come to stillness at the center. Open your arms out to either side. Make a nice big T on the mat. Drop your knees off to your right hand side and turn your head to look to the left. Now we want to try to fully relax in this moment. So we just want to let our bodies surrender to the earth. No tension. Feet are touching down, knees are touching down. We're trying to soften. You can leave your head turned to the left, or you can find that gentle rocking motion of the head, just shifting back and forth. Again, sometimes this can help with neck tension, shoulder tension. And come back to center, draw your knees in. Let's feel that on the other side. Drop the knees off to the left-hand side. Turn your head to the right. And do the same check-in, right? Make sure everything is soft here. Relaxing the legs and feet. Relaxing the heart and shoulders. And maybe we find that rocking motion with the head, or maybe we leave our head turned to the right. On your next inhale, draw your knees back to center. And now if there is any additional movement, any stretch, any asana, anything at all you would like to feel, take a moment to honor that request within your body. So maybe it's an inversion or a twist or a hip opener, or maybe it's just rocking from side to side right here. Whatever would feel best, that's what goes in this space. Come back to stillness at the center. Begin to make your way toward Shavasana, toward your resting space. Remembering, of course, that there are so many options here. So traditional Shavasana is done with heels wide, toes falling out to either side, shoulders are relaxed, and palms face the sky. So this is always an option. If you notice that you're experiencing a little bit of crunching or discomfort in your lower back, one fix for that is to bring your feet in, so we bend the knees, and then let the knees fall together at the center of the mat, keeping the feet nice and wide. So this basically does exactly the same thing, it just takes the tension off the back. You're also welcome to bring soles of your feet together for supine goddess pose. For those of us who love hip stretches, this can be great. You're also welcome to take child's pose here, or seated meditation, or any other resting pose. So take a moment to settle into your Shavasana. Allow all of the places where your body is touching the earth to just soften. Let them grow less distinct. Feel them melting. Relax your jaw. Relax your eyes and your forehead. And then simply let go and float. Allow your breath to create space within your body. Begin to find some little movements of your fingertips and your toes. Just bringing you back to this day, to this time. Point your toes away and reach your arms up overhead. Take a nice deep breath in, full body stretch. And then exhale. Draw your knees into your chest and rock from side to side. Eventually find your way all the way over onto your right side and just curl into the posture of the sleeping child. No tension at all. Let the earth hold you here. Take a moment to connect once more with your intention for practice. Just breathing in whatever that quality or focus happens to be. And then whenever you are ready and you feel your practice is complete, use your hands to help press yourself up to a nice, easy seated position. Bring your hands to heart center and close your eyes. We're going to close our practice with a round of Om Shanti Shanti Shanti, a prayer for peace. Inhale. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me this morning. Namaste. Thank you, everyone. Scoot forward and stop the recording. And just one.